Can we please give a massive welcome to Sasha Marshall?
Hello, everybody. Thank you. So I'm very happy to be here this evening with you, talking on a subject I'm really passionate about. And what I am passionate about is how you make me feel. So a bit of background, a bit of context. So I'm a mental health nurse and a CBT therapist, cognitive behavioural therapist. And so I've observed a lot of human suffering, upset and difficulty. I've observed that firsthand with people. And what I found is that all of us have the motivation of wanting to feel better. Whether we've got a mental health difficulty or not, all any of us want is to feel better all the time. When we think we've got everything, there's something else that we want. Whether it's something to do with our partner, or we want more money in our life, or for me, the shoes and clothes. That's what there's always something over there that I want. So I am going to be talking about and using the words happy and happiness a lot in this. But what I did for fun, because I really like language as well, is I found lots of words for you to look at that might mean the same thing. And I thought it'd be fun if you have a look and just call out any that you like, your favourites, silly ones, funny ones.
Orgasmic.
Thank you. Yes, I really like zesty. I want to say, I feel zesty. Blissed out's nice. Giddy. Are there any there that you haven't heard before, or new words? Cock a hoop. Yeah, I didn't come across that before I did this. Happiness, happy. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. So that was just a bit of fun. So moving on, I think it's important to look at different perspectives of happiness and how different cultures see and live different happiness. So the Western version is that, we like to be lively and excited when we're in our happiness. And it's usually around individual achievement is an observation that came out that, if I'm happy, it's because I've achieved something, attained something, got something, won something. So it's very much about the individual, whereas with Eastern cultures, if you were observing someone in happiness, you wouldn't necessarily know, because it's very much an inner process. It's about serenity and calm, harmony, maybe being in harmony with your environment or with nature. So it's a very different expression than this is generalizing, obviously, than Western cultures. I did find this about some African experiences of happiness, and that the happiness is derived from, well, I am because we are. And I really, really like that, and that's the expression that they have around happiness, and it's about community. I am because we are. I think there's a lot in that, and maybe there's another talk on that. And then if we go to Latin America, it's all about noise and colour and social contact around celebration, and that is their fun-based happiness. That's their expression of happiness and sense of joy, which is rather lovely. So Anthony de Mello, so he wrote prolifically on philosophies around happiness. He died in the 1980s. And what he did was he almost wanted to integrate the different ideas of happiness from Eastern and Western philosophies. But what he came up with was that you can either have attachment to things, people, shiny stuff, shoes, clothes, or you can be happy. But you can't have both at the same time, which is in direct conflict of perhaps what we might pursue. And then Buddha has to come into this conversation. Buddha said in very simplified terms that all desire, all wanting, all needing of anything is to suffer. And that because we're looking outside of ourselves, we're either looking to the past or the future, when actually we need to be in the moment, and true happiness is in the moment. If anything is outside of us and we want it, then we're not happy, we can't be happy. So wanting, desiring anything means we haven't got it. It's outside of me and over there, and we can't be happy in that state. What ancient teachings also show is that when we are born, we're automatically born into happiness. It's our right. You don't have to earn it, or it doesn't matter what family you're born into. We just are all born happy. However, what happens to the happiness? Why are so many people unhappy? Why are so many people on pills to make them happy? Why are so many people kept away from their happiness? What is that all about? What's going on if our innate state is happiness? So I like to think of happiness as the absence of all the things that are horrible, and I guess that I've encountered in the mental health background. So perhaps happiness is the absence of fear and depression, anxiety, guilt, shame, all those things, all those negative experiences that people have, unfortunately. Because if we were in our true innate state of happiness, we'd look like this more often. So all of these are in their innate happiness, aren't they? They're very lovely. So going forward, so all the negative emotions can keep us from our happiness, but so can beliefs about happiness. And in therapy, I hear so many beliefs that keep people separate from their happiness. And this is just a selection. So one is that it's conditional. I can only be happy if. I can only be happy if my child goes to the right university. I can only be happy if I get the right present on my birthday. Another one, that there's a quota. There's only so much for each person. We can't have too much. If I'm happy, I'm taking it from someone else. And I've heard all these from people. And I think people have grown up hearing this. It's a control thing, isn't it? People around them have said these things. Oh, you're too happy. What's wrong with you? Something is wrong with me if I'm happy. I'm missing something I should be worrying about. This is very common. So, if I'm happy, it means I've forgotten something. I've forgotten to do something, or there's something I should be worrying about, and I have actually no right to be happy. I'm selfish for being happy when others are unhappy. So the idea there is that if someone is unhappy or in grief or misery, and they're our friend, let's say, that perhaps we should be meeting them on that level of grief or misery or unhappiness, rather than being happy in our state and supporting the friend. There's an idea that we have to make ourselves as miserable as them. When I am happy, I know something must go wrong. I hear this all the time. So if people say, I was happy for a couple of days, and then I knew it'd go wrong because it has to be balanced out, because my life can't be happy. I can't be intrinsically happy. And it's just so sad. So something else that I want to talk to you about happiness. So imagine as you made your way to your seats this evening, and if on each of your seats was a little bag that I had put there, and in that bag I had put a little amount of my happiness, my quota of happiness, I have put in a bag and I put it on your seat. And to my friends that are here supporting me, and that's lovely, thank you so much for being here, in your bags, in your little bags, I put in extra, because we know each other and I expect more from you in terms of supporting me. And what I want you to do in return for this quota of my happiness I've given you, I want you to give me my happiness back at the end by making a ruckus and cheering and clapping and wailing and stamping your feet when I finish my talk. So I'm giving you, most of you strangers to me, responsibility for my happiness. If you don't respond the way I want you to, I'm going to go home miserable. Okay? I'm not like that anymore. I used to be. I'm just joking. So if we know what separates us from our happiness, maybe it's our beliefs, maybe it's that we give other people responsibility for our happiness. You know, so my children, they've got responsibility for my happiness. They have to behave in a certain way, go out with the right people, not get too many tattoos, that kind of thing. And my partner, obviously, he's got the biggest quota of my happiness. And he has to deliver my happiness to me in the right way, when I need it, when I want it, when I expect it, and when I don't expect it. Anyway, so if we know what separates us from our innateness, from our happiness that we all have a right to have, how do we do something about that? And there are various different things we can do. These are just some of them. So reflection, very important. We'll get into all these in a minute. Meditation. Does anyone here meditate? Oh, quite a few. That's good. Relaxation, contemplation, and gratitude. Reflection. This is a really powerful tool if done effectively and purposefully. You can reflect through journaling. I find that really, really helpful. Or you can have a reflective partner or work with an accountability partner. You can't see that there, I'll read it out. You can't connect the dots looking forward, but you can connect the dots looking backwards. Steve Jobs said that. Sorry, I didn't know you couldn't read it. So looking backwards, you can connect the dots. Things make sense. You can unravel the overthinking in your mind. And reflection is a really powerful tool for getting in touch with where you want to be, who you are, what do I want from this, and therefore happiness, because we're always in search for happiness, whether it's going after shoes and clothes or reflecting back on experiences. Another way to reach into happiness, make space for happiness, is through meditation and relaxation. I've put these two together because I'm probably not talking to the right crowd about this, but a lot of people don't like the idea of meditation. They've got some sort of mental block around meditation. And so in those situations, I call it relaxation. But meditation is a beautiful space, the gap in between your thoughts. It's where you can access creativity, pure love, pure joy. It's the place of inspiration, I find. It's the place where inventions come to people's minds. And for those who don't want to get into the meditation space, you can just relax and do a guided relaxation, because in that you're slowing down all your physiological symptoms. Blood pressure reduces, your heart rate slows, your thoughts can slow down. And when your thoughts slow down, you can get into those lovely creative spaces. This is my favourite. Gratitude. Anyone do gratitude practice? Oh, good. That's good. So I have found this a really, really powerful thing, and I do it a lot. It's quite transformative, actually. And it can be done as a meditation, it can be done as a guided practice, and it's so beautiful when we have gratitude for what we already have, because if we're a culture of people who constantly want things over there, the shiny things, the car, I want a bigger house, I want to get divorced, I want to get married, I want kids, I want a dog, all these things, we're constantly going outside of ourselves to look for our happiness. When I go on holiday, I can relax, and when I'm relaxed, I'm happy. When I get married, I feel secure, and when I'm secure, I'm happier. When I've given my Bavard talk and it goes all right, I feel happier. So gratitude is a really wonderful thing. And some of my clients, they really want to get into gratitude because they think it's a good idea, and I agree. But people who don't know about it or don't know much about it tend to think that it has to be about huge, profound things, important, massive, global things, when actually just being grateful for your car or for food or for friendship, for your clothes, for colour. I love colour. I'm so grateful for colour, I really am. So gratitude is a beautiful space. And I'm so grateful for gratitude. Okay, moving on. Oh yeah, here's a different perspective. So Mo Gawdat, I don't know if you've heard of him, he used to work at Google, and he had the enviable lifestyle. He had the car and the family and earned lots of money. And then one day, tragically, his son died. His son was called Ali. Ali was he was 23 or 24. And obviously devastation went through the family, and there were all the questions and why us and what did we do wrong, and the grief, the denial, the pain. And then he found a different way, Mo found a different way of looking at the death of his son. And instead of being in misery and sadness and anger, he turned it around. So if you speak to him about Ali, he won't talk about Ali dying and the tragedy, and it's not fair. He will say, Ali lived. Ali lived. And for the years that he was alive, I was his dad. I had the privilege of being his dad, but Ali lived. He doesn't tell the story of him dying. He tells the story of him living. And I found that really quite touching. He's turned it on its head. So he's written books on happiness and does podcasts. And the Dalai Lama, obviously, has to be invited to this conversation. He has also written many, many books on happiness and does many, many talks on happiness. And he says the point of life is to be happy. That is the only point of life, to be happy. And I love that because it's so simple. When we focus on problems, problems become unbearable. I think it's that life becomes unbearable. I think that needs to be reworded. We're all born and die the same, so we're all born into happiness equally, no matter who we're born to. Our wellness must include a happy mind. So if we prioritise going to the gym, eating organic food, spending time with our family, if we have all that, physical health, why aren't we also prioritising our mind? Surely, if our mind isn't calm, if we can't get to serenity, if we can't get to peace of mind, if we can't get to relief and relaxation, what does all that other stuff mean? There's no point in having a healthy body if you can't, if up here it's horrible. Happiness is derived from inner peace and cannot be bought. So the shoes, the clothes, the dresses, apparently I can't buy happiness. And it's true, because it makes me very happy to buy something new for myself. I'm so happy. Then it wears off and then I want something else. And then that wears off and there's something shiny over there and I want that. So that's why I like gratitude, because it brings me into the place of gratitude for what I already have. What have I already got? Do I need that thing? Do I really want that thing, or is that just me going to the shiny thing? Gratitude for what I already have. My health, my friends, my job, my kids. Bavard. So cultivate compassion for other people. Yeah, time. Smile at others. It's free, and it's a really nice thing to do. Deep satisfaction in happiness, peace of mind. It's back to peace of mind, and be in the present moment. Let's go quickly. What is it about the present moment? In the present moment, everything exists. There's no past, no present. We're happy in the present. The generous present moment. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it the generous present moment where everything exists. That's going into the quantum realm. And then I'm just going to do my message because I'm running out of time. So what is my message, people? My message is contract out your happiness less. So those little bags that I gave to you, that was me contracting out my happiness. I also might do it to my boss, you know, anyone, all the systems we live in, the places we work, we're contracting out our happiness. Make time to cultivate your happiness. Use one of those 5 techniques. If anybody wants help with that, I'll talk to you afterwards about that. We are healthy mentally and physically when we take care of our happiness. So true. And smile at others, it spreads happiness. It's really dark, but that's it.
Sasha Marshall, wasn't that lovely? Thank you very much, Sasha. That was great.